Our next guest is a senior fellow at American Culture Project and author of The Parent Revolution. Corey DeAngelis joins us now. Corey, your thoughts on the subsequent reaction to all of this?
I mean, it's ridiculous, and you're right. Conservatives can help win the war against this ideological rot in our society by having more children, but it's not going to be enough to fight back at the root of the problem, which is the teachers' unions are infiltrating the government school system and brainwashing 50 million kids a year for 13 years of their lives for 7 hours a day. We can't win just by having more children. We need to reclaim our schools. Parents should be empowered to homeschool. They should be able to take their money to private schools that are aligned with their values. And look, a third of teachers identify as conservatives. They need to stop funding these monsters at the NEA who celebrate the death of their political opponents and these people in the Chicago public schools who are mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination. That lady needs to be fired, and other teachers need to say, you know what, this is a bridge too far. This is a line in the sand and they just crossed it. I'm going to stop paying these despicable people to funnel my dues, my hard-earned paycheck, to my political opponents. Why should conservative teachers be forced to fund Democrat politicians? I think they need to put their foot down, say no more, and join alternatives like the Teacher Freedom Alliance. But this No Kings protest was backed by Randi Weingarten herself. She spoke at one of the events on Saturday, and her union, the American Federation of Teachers, which gave 99% of their contributions to Democrats last cycle, they backed the entire No Kings apparatus. They were a primary sponsor of the event. So, you know, there's a lot of crazy teachers in the system, but there's a lot of good ones too, and they need to say no more. Not today, Satan. Defund the beast by starving it from the inside. And this Lucy Martinez lady is at a school where over 80% of the students are not proficient in math. And so it's probably because she's indoctrinating them with her far left agenda as opposed to focusing on the basics. She makes over $100,000 a year. I found that on open payrolls. And this whole debacle just shows that the school system is not accountable to the populace. When people tried to call the school, I called them several times today. Every single number that you press, it goes to a full voicemail. They won't respond to anybody's emails, anybody's phone calls, and they're just going to try to sweep it under the rug. The union always tries to protect the worst people in the system, the lowest common denominator, and this lady has no business being around children. She certainly should not be funded by the taxpayer to the tune of over $100,000 a year.
Unbelievable. What does the NEA do in situations like this? What protections would they offer someone like Lucy Martinez here?
Well,
assuming she's a member. We don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know that yet, but she does. The union does fight legally in favor of teachers. And Randi Weingarten herself, when there were a lot of teachers getting fired over the celebration post on social media after Charlie Kirk's assassination, because a lot of them, I'd say most of them, were associated with the public school system or the higher education system as well. Randi Weingarten and her union put out a statement saying that this was an attack on free speech. And so they tried to turn the cards and call themselves perpetual victims when everybody has their free speech. No teachers were getting locked up for the things that they said about Charlie Kirk's assassination, but employers have freedom of association. You don't have the right to indoctrinate young, impressionable minds with violent rhetoric and a far left agenda. You're there to teach them math, reading, and writing. You're not there to push a far left-wing Marxist agenda in the classroom. You're not supposed to push gender ideology into the schools, and you're certainly not supposed to inject your politics into the classroom. And I don't think the general public can trust this person that went viral on social media, who is reportedly Lucy Martinez in the Chicago public school system. They can't trust them around their children. I mean, how could you be a Republican parent and say, I'm going to continue sending my kid to this school? It's free advertising for school choice. You should get your money to go somewhere else away from those lunatics. But it's also free advertising for alternatives to the union, because look, some teachers think they need some legal protection and they can get it for free from the Teacher Freedom Alliance. and stop giving money to the union bosses like Randy who protect monsters in the system.
Bottom line is there are alternatives. If you are a public school teacher in the United States, you don't have to be a part of the NEA, which is such a core part of raising an entire generation of teachers, kind of like Lucy Martinez, whether she's a member or not. It's insane to watch. Corey DeAngelis, a pleasure as always. Thank you for the insight.
Thanks, Chanel. Good talking to you.